well. Glad to have you here today. Once again, another exciting day here in Ohio, and I've got my Indians garb on. Once again, sorry, we got to be politically correct. I have my Guardian stuff on here. Once again, exciting game from yesterday, and of course, rolling with that enthusiasm and hoping for another good game here today and hopefully a guards win. So we're pretty excited about that. So welcome to the economic report. And today we're going to have a show that covers a couple really important topics here. Um, and maybe I can start the first part of the show talking a quick check in with gold and silver. Gold down a little bit more today, uh, still off of its all time high. And of course, silver about $43 per ounce as well. So, once again, still hovering near its highs though. But if you had purchased yesterday and were expecting a big victory, well, you weren't getting that. And of course, as I'd mentioned yesterday, I'd love to hear from you folks. If you are the person holding physical gold or physical silver, like, hey, how do you get rid of it, right? That's my question. And of course, if you're not getting rid of it, then maybe, just maybe, you're playing the gold silver play some other way, maybe through an ETF, maybe even playing a gold or silver miner as well. Whatever you decide to do, these are some really, really interesting things here. And of course, what do we do here at the Economic Report? We talk to people just like you, and we take Wall Street economics, DC politics, and bring the story down here to Main Street, where we can all gather just a little bit more information. And so I want to make sure that we are going ahead and following that same format. Of course, today's big story, the story that we put out today, has everything to do with, yes, TikTok, and of course, what TikTok is, why TikTok is such an incredibly important platform, and of course, what makes TikTok so hot. And of course, maybe the last piece here is the amount of data that TikTok is really gathering on people. And of course, today's long form video here. Grace, glad to have you here. Hey, glad to have you guys here as well. You are awesome. Thank you for joining me at the Economic Report. And guess what, folks? We're covering TikTok today, of all things. Maybe you have some insights. Oh, you love my shirt. I love my shirt too. And thank you. Thank you for, all right, from Indian tribal nation, Alaska. That's flipping amazing. Thank you for joining me here as well. And you know what? Since you're throwing it out there, I gotta ask. They changed the name here in Cleveland to the Guardians, right? And of course, that was out of respect to Native Americans. And of course, the original story behind how the team had gotten their name to begin with was out of respect to a Native uh, American as well. And so, all these years later, well, they changed the name, and of course, we are the Guardians now. And hey, you live in Cleveland. That is flipping amazing. Glad to have you here. And go Guards! Wonderful to have folks just like you here cheering this team on to victory. And hey, folks, if you are liked and subscribed, that is wonderful for this channel. And of course, I can make sure that you're getting your daily updates right from the economic report. And yes, Go Guards is right. Thank you very much. And if I could say this to you, it's going to be a big game here today. Of course, the Guards tied up things, at least statistically, tied up the season yesterday with Detroit, and another victory here gets us just that much closer. Uh, no offense to our nation in Alaska. Hey, hey, I'm with you, pal. But Carlos, evidently, there's something else that political correctness is such that and it was the most respectful thing. I think the original intention was to honor Selexis was his name, in the who was a player and then manager of the Cleveland Indians back in the day. But we live in different times, and maybe the caricature of the Native American could have been offensive. Whatever it is, I understand what they did, why they did it, and no matter what the name of the team is, they're still my team, and I guess that's the most important piece here to it because I guess they could have named them a bunch of other things. It's still my team from Cleveland, so that's the team I tend to follow. Hey, the Scald One, welcome to the Economic Report. Glad to have you here as well. And of course, really the main part of this was we make sure you're liked and subscribed there as well, Mr. Skull. We'd appreciate that. And I guess we're going to get back to TikTok here for a few minutes because it is worthy of talking about. And oh, you are amazing. Thank you, Mr. Skull. You make this channel happen. And of course, what do we say here today is these the social media stuff is for real, right? And wow, a bunch of people here. Make sure you're all liked and subscribed here, folks, because we are covering TikTok today. And if you want to go ahead and the Hollow Knight, glad to have you here. No, you are definitely not the only one here. We've got over 20 people here at the Economic Report. So I'm glad to have you here as well, though. So make sure you are liked and subscribed. But I got to tell you that, like, no question about it, social media is like a giant data map. And, like, without a doubt, they are for sure tracking practically every move we make. And I'm just saying here, folks, that there's a lot going on here when it comes to social media and, of course, all your data points that are really worth a ton to any social media channel. So TikTok really gets a huge, huge boost for the amount of time you spend there on their platform. Of course, the amount of clicks you're making, and of course, the longer you stay, the better off that they are. Oh, are you lagging a little bit, pal? I'm so sorry. So make sure that we're understanding that TikTok really does pay a ton, and I do mean a ton of time speaking to your attitude, your behaviors, and they keep on feeding you more stuff to keep you on the platform as long as possible. So there's an addictive quality to it as well. There's the amount of data that's being sorted out as well. So there's that piece. And of course, obviously, the data mining is worth big, big money. And the more money that the longer they keep you on, well, the more they're learning about you and the more they're continuously feeding whatever the algorithm has identified to keep you engaged onto the platform. So it's pretty crazy stuff here. And I think when you're aware of that, that's 90% of the battle. And with that, of course, the big talk is, do you want that information stored with a Chinese company? President Trump is pushing really, really super hard to have that information stored with an American company. And of course, there's Rupert Murdoch, who's the owner of the entire News Corp. That's Fox News, Wall Street Journal, and of course, with that also is Larry Ellison, who also owns Oracle. And of course, it's a lot of information, a lot of data about a lot of users, particularly younger people who are engaged in TikTok. And of course, with that, they're able to really kind of understand what people think, what they do, and all these other data points that are worth like millions and in some cases billions of dollars because they know what to continually feed them and of course what to advertise when they're on, what they're looking at when they're on. So it's really a pretty powerful thing to take into consideration. And so to sell that off to probably some right leaning institutions. At least we know Rupert Murdoch for sure is right leaning. I'm not so sure Larry Ellison. He seems to be, basically typical West Coast billionaire. So we will see. But without a doubt, that will be the legacy of that company. That it will not just be a company that does software, but it'll also be a company that now has a ton, and I do mean a ton of data from all different types of users, and that stuff can become very, very powerful. Here's something the average viewer doesn't know is that TikTok inside of China, it's actually a digital education company. In other words, they're allowed to sell or stream anything of educational purposes. And in the West, well, they said, do whatever you want. And of course, that algorithm, it's called the monolith algorithm, has really done a lot of damage here to Americans and people inside the West, of course, in part because it says it drives a lot of anxiety and it drives a lot of other compulsive type behaviors. So, just to make sure that we're super half the battle here. And with that, hey, there we are, Fan Dirt from Illinois. Glad to have you here. We are really just at the very end of this episode, and just wanted to touch base with you and remind you that, folks, the biggest battle you fight is the one between your ears, over your thoughts, your actions, and your attitude. Smile, make somebody's day today, and make sure you are liked and subscribed. With that, I will catch you tomorrow. Have a great